Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to share with you some real action steps that you can actually start today in order to begin to up level your health. I know that a lot of us have been in a place of challenge over the last few years and potentially finding ourselves with habits that are no longer serving us and are not serving our health. So I hope you find this information helpful because I'm going to share with you 3 things that I have found to be hugely impactful for my clients when they feel ready to change up some of those habits that they just know are keeping them from feeling their best self. As some of you may know, I facilitated my first ever Whole Foods based detox group recently, and I couldn't have been more pleased at how it all went. Each participant got something a little bit different out of the experience. Some were really able to see and feel the changes in their body, in their mood, in their sleep in just the short 5 days. One participant shared that the ease of the program brought tears to her eyes because she realized that eating in a healthy way could be both delicious and simple. That's what makes that detox so different from so many of the others out there. I designed it to be an accessible way for folks to jumpstart their health in a way that doesn't actually cause more stress. And frankly, we sometimes forget that eating food just the way Mother Nature intended for us, it actually tastes amazing. We get so busy trying to figure out if we should cut out carbs or eat more or less fat or become a vegetarian that we forget that just eating whole, clean, and seasonal foods can set our body, mind, and spirit up for an uplift. Another participant said that she was able to see how some of her eating habits had been formed when she was young, and that when she began to realize that connection, it made it so much easier for her to make different choices. Such good stuff happened in our group, but I recognize that some of the gifts that came out of that detox week are things that we all have access to in our everyday. You don't have to do a detox in order to put these steps into action that I'm going to share with you. I often hear in my private coaching practice that knowing you need to change your habits and actually changing them are 2 very different things. It can be easy to get stuck in the awareness stage without moving into action. So I decided to give you this quick video with some helpful ways on how many of my clients have learned how to mobilize themselves into action. In other words, how to actually change. And these tips can apply to your everyday life as you move through your way of finding more vibrant health habits. And I found that these are the things that once my clients really, really understand, they become game changers in their success. So the first tip that I have for you is don't change too much too fast. A big mistake people often make is they try to get rid of all their bad habits at one time. Too many changes at one time is not only stressful, but it can tend to reliably ignite that inner rebel. You know, that part of yourself that resists change even if it's good for you? So I recommend choosing one good habit that you want to start and one not so great habit that you want to quit. Give yourself a full month of dedicating yourself to those 2 changes. And at the end of that month, decide if you were ready to choose another one. This not only keeps your nervous system out of overwhelm, but it also gives you plenty of time to integrate the changes into your life. Before you know it, you won't even have to think about it anymore because it'll become your new default pattern. One of my private coaching clients said once that she finally understood the difference between just deciding to drink more water or trying to drink more water and actually being the person who drinks a lot of water. This was a big moment for her because she was able to become her new habit. This is one reason my programs are 6 weeks, 3 months, and even 6 months long. It gives you time to integrate each small change as you go. The second tip that I have for you is to plan ahead. Every person who has ever become successful at anything they have ever done since the beginning of time has this in common. They take the time to plan for the change they want to make. I don't know about you, but I can't think of one person who just accidentally or randomly became great at something without any forethought. I often remind my clients of how much planning, work, consideration, and even risk our ancestors had to go through in order to get their food. Taking 15 minutes to plan out some meals for the week and make a shopping list really isn't that much to ask if it means up-leveling your health in a big way. When you dedicate yourself to doing this, you start to see the difference between surviving and thriving. In survival mode, you rely on the events and the emotions of the moment to determine your course of action. An example of this is waiting until you're hangry to even consider what you'll have for dinner. Most likely, you'll make a choice based on your emotion and one that's not in alignment with your health goals. When you're in survival mode, you're operating from your sympathetic nervous system. This is the fight or flight system that is designed to help us stay safe from being eaten by a tiger, not the system that helps us build our health. Survival-based action relies heavily on already ingrained patterns that come from your unconscious mind. It's designed this way so that you don't have to spend precious time thinking about whether or not you should run from the tiger that is about to eat you. When you're trying to change your unconscious habits, you don't want to be making survival-based decisions. Thrival-based action comes from a calm and conscientious place of the nervous system, a relaxed state where you can consider your choices with more awareness. Planning while in this state allows you to see the value in the action that actually builds your health and allows you not to just survive, but to thrive. The third tip that I have for you is don't forget to notice. Another big mistake I see people make when trying to change their health habits is that they don't take the time to reflect and notice what is happening in their body as they're doing things. A coaching client of mine was about to give up on his decision to stop drinking coffee in the afternoons. He said it wasn't helping him. He couldn't figure out what the benefit was, and he just missed his afternoon latte. I had to point out to him that for the previous 2 months, he had actually been sleeping through the night for the first time in years, with no interruptions. He wasn't taking the time to notice the positive changes that were occurring for him. Look, your body is in constant communication with you, giving you valuable information about what your choices are doing to it. So take the time to listen, reflect, and notice the changes that are happening. The body is so dynamic and can often change very quickly, but you have to be tuned in. I always recommend a journal for my clients, but you can choose whatever tactic works for you. Just make time at the end of the day to take a few minutes to review what you did and how you feel. Writing it down also allows you to see over time all the progress that you've made. I always find it fascinating that we humans are so practiced at seeing what isn't working, but not so great at seeing what is working. So to quickly review the steps, pick one new habit to start and one you're ready to let go of. Give yourself 30 days to integrate the changes and then decide what to do next. Plan ahead. Don't fall into the mindset trap that tells you you don't have time for it. You do. Take time to notice and reflect. The amount of change that could be occurring inside of you without you noticing could actually surprise you. I hope this video has been helpful for you in some way. Remember that when it comes to changing things that we're so used to doing, it takes time and persistence, but it doesn't have to be difficult. Pace yourself, believe in yourself, and know that I am always here to help you along the way on your health journey. Change is always easier when we're not doing it alone.